The debate between free will and determinism is one of philosophy's oldest and most fascinating discussions. At its core, the question asks, are our actions freely chosen, or are they determined by factors beyond our control? Here are 10 key arguments from both sides of the spectrum. 1. The illusion of free will. Determinists argue that free will is an illusion created by our brains. Neuroscience has shown that decisions are often made subconsciously before we are even aware of them, suggesting that our choices are predetermined by neural processes. 2. Moral responsibility requires free will. Supporters of free will counter that moral responsibility depends on the ability to choose. If our actions are predetermined, holding people accountable for their behavior, whether rewarding good deeds or punishing crimes, becomes questionable. 3. Causal determinism. Determinism posits that every event, including human actions, has a cause rooted in prior events and natural laws. This chain of causality means our choices are inevitable outcomes of circumstances and biology. 4. Quantum indeterminacy. Some argue that quantum mechanics introduces uncertainty into the universe. If not everything is strictly determined at the quantum level, could this randomness create room for free will? Critics respond that randomness alone doesn't equate to meaningful choice. 5. Theological determinism. In religious contexts, the idea of divine omniscience suggests that a deity knows everything that will happen. This raises the question, if a divine being knows our future choices, are those choices truly free? 6. The phenomenology of choice. Proponents of free will argue that the subjective experience of making choices feels real and genuine. This feeling of agency, they claim, is evidence that we actively shape our decisions rather than being passive participants. 7. Environmental and genetic influences. Determinists highlight the role of external factors, such as upbringing, culture, and genetics, in shaping our behavior. These influences, they argue, limit our autonomy, making many choices seem inevitable. 8. Compatibilism, a middle ground. Compatibilists believe that free will and determinism can coexist. They argue that even if our actions are influenced by external factors, we still exercise free will when we act according to our desires and reasoning. 9. Psychological determinism. Human behavior, some argue, is shaped by psychological patterns and past experiences. For example, a person raised in a violent environment may be more likely to exhibit violent behavior, challenging the notion of truly free choice. 10. The practical implications of belief. Finally, whether free will exists or not, belief in it has practical consequences. Studies suggest that people who believe in free will are more likely to take responsibility for their actions, while those who adopt a deterministic outlook may feel less motivated to strive for change. The debate between free will and determinism invites us to examine the foundations of human behavior, responsibility, and morality. Whether the truth lies in freedom, determinism, or somewhere in between, the discussion continues to challenge and inspire philosophers, scientists, and thinkers around the world.